Right, round 2 of the CAF Champions League ended with some interesting results, and we sat here and then we did some predictions in the preview. Fortunately or unfortunately, some didn't go. I don't know which of them we got right, but we'll get into that and then we have a conversation around it. The first one that happened was Sagrada Esperance versus Esperance of Tunisia. The game ended in 0-0. But then, as usual, I have my man Rozo in the building. Rozo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nice one. And as usual, I have my man Amando in the building.
Yeah, man.
Right, guys. People are saying your predictions are not there at all. Right, let me start with you. Sagrada Esperanca versus Esperance of Tunisia. It ended in 0-0. But I think we all gear towards Esperance beating Sagrada Esperanca. What was your prediction on that?
Yeah, I thought I made my prediction based on the newness of Esperanza from Angola, and how they are coming up against Esperance of Tunis,
an experience,
who have been in the show for quite a long time, but they are not what they used to be in yesteryear.
Right.
And so you perhaps gave Esperanza some window of opportunity to also prove themselves against the might of Esperance of Tunis. But I mean, look, it's a very good result for Esperanza, even though it was at their own backyard that Esperance went and picked a point. Yeah, right. I mean, new in the game, it will take some time to
be able to beat
for headers ahead.
Right. Let me come to you. Were you surprised with the results?
Yes, a little bit surprised. You remember I talked about Esperance, who are also old in the game.
Right.
But some of these new teams, like I've been saying, football is everywhere now. So now, if they do their homework well, their history really didn't matter. So for me, I think that's what happened in this game. If you look at the stats of that game, you realize that it was almost 50-50. 60% of possession and everything was for Esperance. But if you look at that, if you are going to take that into consideration, that means that Esperanza did so well. They were able to control, they were able to, absorb the pressure Esperance were actually given. So for me, it was a good game.
It was a good game
and a good result for them.
Right. I mean, definitely, because we cannot compare the experience between these two clubs. And then coming to, I mean, getting a point at home, to a big club like Esperance.
Exactly.
I think it's good for Sagrada. Now, the big one was Orlando Pirates against El Ahly. And I've seen a lot of the comments that are coming in, because we all were, tilting towards El Ahly, and saying that El Ahly, we're the champions, so definitely they were going to beat Orlando Pirates, but it didn't turn out like that. It ended in a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
I particularly watched that game. It was end-to-end stuff. It wasn't really easy for El Ahly, and probably we might have to eat back our words. Let me start with Rozo on this particular one.
Well, I acknowledged that Pirates were underdogs going into this game.
The stadium was full
to the rafters.
It was amazing.
I saw highlights and I also saw that the stands were filled to the rafters.
Right.
I acknowledged the fact that Pirates were the underdogs going into this game against the might of Al Ahly. But I also registered that they may just use Al Ahly as a sacrificial lamb to bounce back.
Our South African brothers say, don't say they are the underdogs. They don't agree with you.
Is there any other underdog between Al Ahly and Pirates apart from Pirates? I am sure even the most die-hard fan of Pirates will agree to the fact that Amando said Al Ahly are the Real Madrid of Africa. Didn't you say that? And who can begrudge him?
That's a fact.
There's record to back what he's saying.
He has some comments in the comment section.
To attend to it. So it is one thing professing love for a football club and another thing acknowledging to the facts. And the fact is that Al Ahly are heads and shoulders above Orlando Pirates. And not just Orlando Pirates. Let me be a bit controversial. Any other South African club. I need to state it. Yes, I'm sorry about that, but I need to state it.
Including my own
any other African club.
Including my own
not just South Africa.
Sundowns.
Any other African club.
The Brazilians are no more the Brazilians. It's been topsy-turvy for them for quite some time now.
Don't do this to us. Don't do this to us.
Look, you see, they are probably the biggest club in Pretoria, but in South Africa, some other clubs are rubbing shoulders with them. So even the Brazilians cannot lay claim to being as we speak, the biggest club in South Africa, especially for the last couple of years. So, I mean, Al Ahly is Al Ahly. And I also mentioned that Percy Tau would always throw his arsenal at his opponent. He would want to consolidate his might and then take his chances as they come. But in this game, they couldn't also take their chances. I would give credit to Orlando Pirates. Pirates deserved that point.
It was a good game.
Yes. I want to see what happens in the reverse fixture.
Orlando Pirates, Al Ahly.
Well, good job, Orlando Pirates. It was a good fight for them. But to be honest, like Rozo said, if you are going to, tackle issues, we talk about the realities and all that. History is there. There's a big history between these two. But if you are going to say because of that history, Al Ahly is not a bigger club or a bigger match than Orlando Pirates. I think
I think the point that was made, I mean, referring to the comments that I got, was that South African clubs have never suffered against North African clubs. What do you make of that?
That's what I said. History is there, but if we are going to talk about the current form, the current success in terms of Africa, I don't know where you get me. In terms of Africa as a whole, not as a team to a team.
Not head to head.
Not head to head.
Pedigree.
Exactly. Even so, if you are going to check the head to head or the previous matches that Al Ahly and Orlando Pirates have played, the last time Pirates won against Al Ahly was way back in 2013. That's when Orlando Pirates won a game against Al Ahly.
And when was the last time Al Ahly won against Pirates?
That was 2013 as well.
That was in the final of the CAF Champions League, actually.
So
right. I think
it was a drawn game in South Africa, and Al Ahly won 2-0 in the reverse fixture in Cairo.
Cairo. So for me, we are talking about the pedigree of certain teams which have always been the standard we are looking at for.
On those bases, we predicted certain scorelines. Right.
If you ask me now, I still stand by my words that Al Ahly are the Real Madrid of Africa. Tell me how many teams we see regularly in the Club World Cup competition.
In Africa, it's Al Ahly.
It's Al Ahly.
Most of the time.
Sundowns,
but they are also yet to win it. There's always the might of Europe to undo whatever is coming from Africa. You understand? Even the South American clubs have won it for some time.
Yes,
like Santos have won it, and the others like International winning it and all that.
Right. So I think the point is quite clear, but I think the argument from the comments was that in terms of the two federations, the North Africans and the South Africans, there have not been that clear dominance of North Africa over South Africa. I don't know whether you agree.
Well, I understand it in a particular way,
context,
but that would be secluding it. Take Africa as a continent, and not Southern Africa against Northern Africa. It may not go by way of permutation that South African clubs will come up against North African clubs.
I think the point
because there are West African clubs and Central African clubs that Al Ahly may pass through to winning a tournament and not necessarily beating or meeting Southern African clubs. You understand? So let's look at Africa in context and not Southern Africa against Northern Africa.
I think the arguments are two different, conversations. So I think it's quite understandable.
It's whether the cup is half full or half empty.
Half full is still the same.
Right. Okay. So I mean, there were really so many draws in the second round of the CAF Champions League. We have Manama Union also drew against Raja Casablanca.
Remember, I said it. If a young team like Manama and what they did in the first game tells you that they are very serious. They mean business.
Serious.
And that's how the level of business in football should get to. That's where we are targeting at the moment. Yes, they have the funds, they have the capacity. Now is the time to utilize it. And remember, I said wherever there's this kind of motivation for players, players will perform.
Right.
So that it was exactly what happened in that game. Yeah.
Maniama Union. Are you surprised?
Give me my humble pie. Let me eat it.
Right.
I called the game for Raja.
I
called the game for Raja. I remember very well. But I mean, it's a pleasant surprise. We want to see a certain evening of the strength on the African game, and then when you see some relatively unknown clubs coming up and then proving themselves against established clubs like this lopsided affair, Maniama against Raja, and then Maniama holding their own against a club like Raja.
1-1 draw.
Yeah, it's a pleasant surprise, and I think it's a signal to all the powerhouses in Africa club football that look, watch it. The small boys are coming.
We're coming.
Exactly.
Right now, did you speak about Maniama?
Yeah, right. And everything. Even if you go and look at the game, I would say Raja escaped.
Yeah, Maniama, they are very stubborn. I said it here the other time.
They escaped.
They are very stubborn.
And this round of games, you saw a couple of late goals.
Right.
Yes.
Late goals. And sometimes you are leading a club and then they have a late rally to salvage a point.
Yeah.
Or you have a club leading and then they are under siege. And then late in the game, they win the game by scoring a goal.
Right. And I remember Manama and Sundowns was a similar encounter where Manama took the game to Sundowns in the second half.
Yeah.
They pressured them. They almost.
It was a game of two halves.
Right.
First half is yours. Second half
is mine. Exactly.
Let's see who. Right. And we had another game on the 7th of December. That was still in the second round. Stade d'Abidjan and Belouizdad. Belouizdad winning by a long goal. In that game,
I think this went up against my prediction.
Right.
I thought I was in favor of Stade d'Abidjan, that Abidjan could win this game, and I said so particularly because I thought they could have rallied support from their home fans.
Yeah.
And you hardly see. I mentioned the lack of appearance of clubs like ASEC Mimosa and other Ivorian clubs. And that this offers an opportunity for another Ivorian club, and for that matter, a West African club to also up its game.
Right.
Because you don't see many West African clubs in the tournament these days.
Yeah.
So that was the point of view I was coming from, and then I was trying to say Abidjan could win against them.
Right.
But I mean, too bad. It was a huge blow dealt to the face of Stade d'Abidjan.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I think I predicted that it was going to be a very tough game, and draw was something I was looking out for. And then the slight advantage I gave to Belouizdad was the nature of the players that they have, their stature, their nature, the way they always show up. Very huge structure, and they actually could take advantage of corners, set pieces, and all that.
Right.
So that was the advantage I gave them, and I think they perfected it.
Right, and for me, I think I also predicted Belouizdad was going to win this game.
Yeah.
I've forgotten by what margin, but we've won. Right, my Sundowns again. As far drawing to Sundowns, far away in Morocco, 1-1.
We should clap for Sundowns.
Yeah.
Yes, far.
Right.
Would have. I struggle to see where the odds would have been headed pre-game, especially if you sampled opinion from, let's say, 10, 20 fans.
Right.
You understand? Sundowns may have the popularity. You understand? They may have the popularity over AS FAR of Morocco. But this was a game not many people saw Sundowns winning.
Right.
And so I haven't been able to go there, and then a very valuable scoreline away from home on the road is very impressive. But I mean, I am still unconvinced wholly about what is happening in Sundowns, especially recently. They've been having some bad results and all that. Before their last game, they had lost in the Premier Soccer League at home. You understand? And so I also remember mentioning how the legendary Benny McCarthy was not very, very happy with how developments in the club were going. And he pointed out that the club didn't have squad depth and quality to travel the entire length of the CAF Champions League. I can hardly disagree with him. And so getting this result on the road, impressive.
Sundowns.
Yeah. Well,
as far.
Yes, I think Sundowns were actually a better team in this game. I expected them to, go through it with a win because of how they approached the game, how they played every minute of it. That there's something people are not really seeing at the moment. Football is not about the names unless you work for it. So Sundowns, they have the name, they have the quality, but why are they not taking chances? Why are they not finishing off games? Remember, they took the lead in the 64 minutes, 66 minutes. So I expected them to kill the game off. Even if them not scoring more goals, they should have been able to, lock their goalposts and not allow FAR Rabat to actually come back.
Equalize,
it is what is it at the moment for Mamelodi Sundowns? They need to do something about that.
I think there's a slight difference I see in instances like this between North African clubs and any other club anywhere in Africa. Look, they come to your own backyard. They're able to take the lead. Massa, towards the dying embers of the game, they can defend it. And they employ all manner of antics.
Yeah, to defend that lead.
You understand? To disturb your plan in the game. And they want to make you angry. They want to have a tango with the referee, engaging him just to,
as if they are being cheated.
To have a psychological edge over you. You understand? And then they do play acting when they are hit slowly. I mean, slightly they fall as if they are dying, something like that. You find these things happen with the North African clubs.
Right.
I dare say, if they had gone to South Africa and had taken 1 goal lead, they would have been able to sit on it.
Yeah.
MC Alger beat my young Africans by 2-0.
That was a shocking result for me.
Right. Me too.
Yes, it was a very shocking result for me. Even though young Africans are the underdogs here, but per what I have seen so far, the development that they've been going through, I expected them to
at least a draw.
Give Alger a very tough time. But remember, what we've been saying, these North African teams, there's something about them. They look different. Everything about them is very different. So we have to try as much as possible that we want to compete with everybody. Then we need to actually rectify whatever that they are bringing to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with them. But it was a good game. Young Africans, definitely they will bounce back. But it was a very big surprise for me.
Especially now that they've lost twice in a row.
They have to work.
They have to work extra harder. Right.
I predicted for MC Alger. And I took a cue from the Sundowns Yanga game. Or who? Yanga. Is it not Young Africans?
No, yes.
Young Africans against MC Alger, right?
Right.
The previous game Yanga had played.
They played with Al Hilal.
Al Hilal.
And Al Hilal won by 2 goals.
Okay. And I was trying to draw a semblance between their style and then South African clubs. Yeah. And I made mention that they're able to hold on to the ball, they're able to pass it around admirably well, they hold possession, and they are very skillful on the ball. Right. And I said, that style is similar to South African clubs, but very different from North African clubs. Yeah. And I was like, if they were playing against a South African club, it would have been a game of equals. But coming up against a North African side, you find it difficult to know what their X factor is. There is that hidden weapon you can never know about them. And when they employ it, they are going to undo whatever you bring before them. And so that was what I based my prediction on and then called the game for MC Alger. Other than that, Yanga always play beautiful football.
I think I also called for young Africans, but unfortunately. Now, will this surprise you? Joliba was able to hold on to a 0-0 draw to Pirates at home.
Gave it to them.
Sorry, Pyramids at home.
I jokingly said Joliba would go to be admiring the pyramids of Giza. And then, you remember I said it?
Yeah.
Pyramids would be there.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, they were unfazed by the historic pyramids in Egypt. And what you see, the thing about going away...
It was actually Joliba's home.
Joliba?
Yeah, that was Joliba's home.
This fixture?
Yeah, it was in Joliba.
Okay, then I was taken aback.
Right, it was in Joliba.
But I think all the same, it's a result to be proud of. I think so. It's still a result to be proud of. Because there is that less fancied note people would take with them, I mean, Joliba, because they are not always front runners in this competition. Right. You understand? At least, even if Pyramids are also not big boys, but they have an edge over Joliba in terms of the pecking order if you rank them. And so I think it's still a very good result to be proud of and happy of, even though it is at home. But I don't see Joliba traveling far in this tournament. I want to put my head on the chopping board.
Right. He's putting his head on the chopping board.
Joliba, yes.
Pyramids.
So you see, this is something we always love to see. But like he said, it's always good to put up a good fight. But there are some battles you just know. No matter how you fight. To run away. No matter how you fight.
A fight another day.
Exactly. So I agree with him. Right. Joliba is a very good team that we definitely want a good competition from all of us. Right. But it's going to be tough for them.
For them,
yes, it's definitely. Premise are definitely coming out in the group.
Right. The last game, Al Hilal and TP Mazembe. Al Hilal winning by 2-1. Are you shocked?
Oh no, I think I called it for Al Hilal.
TP Mazembe?
Yes, I called it for Al Hilal, and I made a similar remark like I did, and how TP have been proving themselves recently in the African game, and that is because of, I also mentioned the injection of serious capital, big capital in the club, and how it is being run both in the Tanzanian league and then in Africa club football. And they've been consistent in the CAF Champions League for the last few seasons.
But TP Mazembe lost to Al Hilal.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, okay, so Sudan may not have a competitive league going on currently because of political tension and all that in the country. So ask yourself, what keeps them in shape for this? Maybe friendlies out of the country. And I'm not sure this was played in Sudan.
Yeah,
even though it was their
Mauritania, remember that?
You understand? Nearby country. I thought they would have opted for Libya like their national team did and beat Ghana. You understand? Right. But I think that I would give 100% credit to Al Hilal. Well-deserved victory over TP. I remember calling the game for Al Hilal, but I thought it would have been closer than 2 goals.
2-1, right?
Yes. For me, I also predicted a very slim win for Al Hilal. But this fixture has always been a very tight fixture. Their last 6 matches is been tight. 2 wins for Al Hilal, 2 wins for TP Mazembe, and 2 draws. So it's a very tight one. Now, if you see the kind of confidence Al Hilal is being at the moment, is top there. So it always adds up to whatever they are doing, whatever you are doing as a team. The more you win your matches, the more you become confident. So for me, I think it plays a very big role in this game. Even though TP had a very good game, they control most part of the game, but Hilal being more confident side, and of course more ambitious, they were able to get that slim win they needed for to move on into the competition. So I think it was a very good game, but like I said, the overconfidence of this Hilal team is still doing the job for them.
And if you remember very well, I think it was the same issue against Young Africans.
Yeah.
They didn't really, Al Hilal, as I said, didn't really play,
but they know what
got
they
the
want.
results.
Exactly.
They made sure they utilized their chances, and they always win. So for me, I think it is a club to look out for in this particular tournament.
After 90 minutes, the most important statistic is goals scored.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, guys. I think those are all the games. We'll be having round 3. We're starting on the 14th. It was supposed to start on the 13th, but Al Ahly Belouizdad has been postponed till further notice. So it will start on the 14th. TP Mazembe Young Africans are going to start, but then we'll be back again with the preview of the round 3 of round of games of the CAF Champions League. Guys, thank you very much for always being with us. The past few days, we've seen how much you've enjoyed the content and your contributions as well. That is actually better informing how we go around, go about our conversations right here in the studio. We appreciate every single one of you who have subscribed And also, if you've not subscribed and you're watching for the first time, please make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Share to other people who enjoy content like this. We have made a decision to do a lot more of African football right here because we are Africans, regardless what our league looks like. We're still Africans, and we have to put some priority there. And the only thing you can do is to support us, watch the videos, and share. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll be back with more. Peace. We out.